Oh, Bendy the Cage is back. Mind blown, I know. Alright guys, it's Aim Guy here, and I'm back for a new type of video I'm trying out. For Bendy the Cage, because apparently it's back. I know I'm late to the party by like a week or something like that. And it's been a while, last week and a half. I just haven't had a chance to make the content that I wanted to. But Bendy the Cage is officially back. Thank God. I was very worried that they were going to just completely scrap all of it and we were never going to see Bendy the Cage again, because they put a post saying that they were putting it on ice and that they were taking a lot of elements from Bendy the Cage and putting it into Bendy 3, which now we know is Bendy and the Ink Factory. But I'm really excited for this. Let me tell you. I think Bendy the Cage deserves to have a story told. Some people don't really agree with that. Think that maybe it's a possibility that it doesn't really need to be a story that's told, but I believe that it could be really interesting to kind of see what happens and how Henry escaped the pit. So we're gonna go over the trailer, and we're gonna go over a few other things to kind of just talk about the game itself and kind of like where the game's going, because it's huge. So it was released on Halloween. It was a trailer kind of just teasing that the game is back and stuff like that. It was actually a really good trailer. Honestly, I prefer this trailer over the one we got in 2023 with Bendy the Cage, where it was literally just Henry standing in like some sort of void area. I don't know. But Bendy the Cage back. So the trailer pretty much just starts with Henry walking down this hallway. It's very dilapidated. It looks like it's it definitely looks like it's from a prison. There really isn't much to talk about, but things to note is that at the end of the hallway there's a spiral which looks like the one that Audrey has on her hand, but it also seems to maybe be something that's hypnotizing the people in this section of the studio. Along with that, there's a new character that was teased called the Watcher in the trailer, and it seems it's probably just like the Warden, quote unquote. It's either that or it's one of the keepers from Bendy and the Dark Rival, which I think is really cool. Kind of adding new threats. Speaking of new threats, in the trailer we actually get to see, I think, like 3 new enemy designs. One of them being like a lost one on like all fours. I'm assuming that's just how they're going to move around. There's another one with like a saw-like trap on him. I'm not really sure what we're doing there, but I think that's pretty cool. And then there was some big dude that was like in the shadows, and it kind of reminded me of like a pirate, but it's probably not a pirate. It's probably some weird concoction. It kind of just, I don't know. That was really cool. I think that it's a really interesting, it looks really interesting. I like the characters and like the monsters that we have seen. I think this is going to be definitely a different experience. And then at the end of the trailer, we get to reveal that Henry actually has a mask on his face, which I think is insane, which reminds me a lot of Dead Space. And it seems like this game is heavily inspired by Dead Space, because one of the biggest things with this game is it is officially M-rated. So this Bendy game is going to have a lot of blood, a lot of gore, a lot of things that you're able to do. You're able to block, parry, all that good stuff. You're able to stomp just like in Dead Space. It's really fucking cool. I think it's going to be definitely a unique experience compared to what, you know, we're used to in the Bendy games. But I do have the description here, which I'll read to you guys now. Test your ability as you take control of Henry in the third-person horror experience taking place during the events of Bendy and the Dark Revival. Condemned to the keeper prison known as the Pit, Henry must survive the horrific inmates and mangled experiments set loose to devour him. A labyrinth of steel, industrial dread lay before him as his mind is invaded by the past. Discover the hidden, blood-stained truth behind the monsters as you explore the dark levels of the pit, slowly making your way to the very top of the facility. Take on the darkness with your axe and brutal melee combat. Unleash fast and heavy strikes, block and parry incoming attacks, shove foes away, stomp on enemies with a vengeance, and time dodges to avoid being torn apart by the things that haunt you. Dive into the shadows of limited supplies as you embark on a twisted tale of Henry's self-discovery while facing down new and familiar creatures of the ink. Find the maestro, escape the prison, fight the madness. So that's pretty much the game. As I said, it's mature rated, so there's a lot more unique combats to help with like the gore part, because I'm assuming most of the gore is gonna have to do with combat. There probably is gonna be like dead bodies and stuff like that. I don't think they're gonna be like dead bodies as in like people like laying down or something like that. It's probably just gonna be ink monsters covered in blood and stuff like that, just because I don't really see them doing that. One thing to note is that it says that there's multiple levels, so I'm wondering on if like the pit actually is like this giant like thing that goes from like all the way up just all the way down. It's like a giant almost hole where they're keeping all these people that are cycle breakers from Bendy and the Archival. And the maestro, I believe, is referring to Sammy Lawrence, mainly because there was actually a recent post by the Meatley himself saying something about the fact that Sammy Lawrence is back and going to have a big role in this game, which I love. I loved Sammy Lawrence of Bendy and the Machine, and he's just a really good antagonist. He was creepy. There was just a lot about him. I have a lot of nostalgia for Chapter 2, even though I wasn't there when it released. I still have a lot of nostalgia for Chapter 1 and 2 when that stuff was going on. So I'm really excited to have Sammy back as more of a prominent role. It's really exciting to kind of just see that come back in a better way. And one of the biggest new changes is it's in third person completely. So there won't be any first person mode or anything. It will just be third person all the way through the beginning to the end of the game, which I think is unique. I prefer first person games, but I'm going to give it a try because I love Bendy. I think it is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I really enjoy being able to enjoy this franchise with a bunch of other Bendy fans and be able to play the games. And so I'm willing to give it a shot. I mean, what's the point of making multiple games of this franchise if you're not willing to branch out and try new things? I don't think a lot of people are going to be very fond of it, but I will. I'm going to give it a shot. I think it's going to be hella fun. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much to talk about. Again, it was just a teaser. There wasn't really any new screenshots. It just kind of showed the screenshots that were in the trailer itself. So once we get more screenshots of environments and characters, I'll be making another video talking about them. There's going to be a lot more Bendy content coming to the channel when we start getting more news about Bendy the Cage. Obviously, trailer reactions. Unfortunately, I didn't make a trailer reaction on this or Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, which is the next video coming out. It's unfortunate. It is. But I promise next trailer I will have a full analysis and breakdown and reaction for you guys. It might not be the day it comes out. Probably will be the day after. Give me some time to edit the video and kind of get it ready to launch. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this video on Bendy the Cage. Don't forget to subscribe. It really does mean the world to me. Comment, like, notification bell, whatever you feel like doing. You know, no big deal. I mean, I would like it if you did. Deal. But no. Just thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.